Dan Bedandi for TruthRadioShow.com. Today's Thursday, May 29th of 2014, and we're going to highlight some news that's going on. The Pope, first of all, we've been talking about the Pope and his grand tour through the Middle East to try to make peace. The Pope is trying to basically push biblical prophecy and the New World Order agenda at once, because in prophecy it states how there will be a global religion, Israel will sign a peace treaty. But let's look at what's going on right now. This is from the New York Times. The Pope here, for Middle East region and of religions conflict, Pope suggests a respite in prayer. So basically the Pope here, he's traveling with his Muslim and Christian, I think these are the guys here, but his Muslim and Christian partners there that went with him on the tour. And it says, Jerusalem Pope Francis returned home from his 3-day sojourn in the Holy Land with a typical bag of ceremonial gifts included from the children of Bethlehem refugee camps. Basically, what he's trying to do, he's got the Israeli and Palestine presidents to come to the Vatican soon for a joint prayer, peace prayer, an unprecedented effort to lend a spiritual lift to a desperate political stalemate. So basically, it's not a peace treaty yet, but what he's trying to do is he's trying to unite the Palestinian and Israeli president Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian president. Basically unite them and basically say, hey, you know, we need peace and you guys need to sign a peace treaty. That's what's going to lead to. And down here it says a meeting, you know, it states that the meeting is not going to produce a treaty, of course, but it could at last bring the sides back to the negotiating table, which John Kerry's trying to do as well. So these globalist folks, the Pope too, I call him, he's the Antichrist's false prophet. And he's not the Antichrist. I got to state that because people misinterpret what I say. He's the false prophet of the Antichrist, because the false prophet leads the world into a one-world religion, makes peace throughout the Middle East, and gets Israel to sign a peace treaty. And that's his job. And the Antichrist, he comes into power as a political figure, and his spiritual advisor is the Pope, the false prophet. So the Antichrist and false prophet are two different people. But we need the biblical prophecy. They have the false prophet doing what he's doing now. And this Pope is already doing stuff uncharacteristic, unprecedented. Within a year of him being Pope, he's done more than any other Pope in recent history. And his number one goal is to unite the world in one world religion. We already talked about this, but I just want to highlight this because what you're seeing now is biblical prophecy coming true, but on the other side of the fence. Because I call him the Illuminati Pope because it's exactly what he is. He's a Jesuit. He's under direct rule of the Black Pope, and this guy will eventually become the Pope, the false prophet that overlooks the seven hills of Rome as described in biblical prophecy. And he's trying to unite all the world's religions. That's why he's traveling with his Christian and Muslim Islamic counterparts there. And what they're trying to do is spread peace throughout the Middle East. People think, oh, it's a good thing. Churches are all falling for this. So religions, oh, it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. That peace is not what you think it is. Jesus even stated in the Bible, he goes, there's a difference between the peace I can give you and the peace that the world could offer you. And the peace that the world could offer you is destructive. And they also said, the Bible also states that when they begin to speak of peace and prosperity, peace and security, when they begin to speak of peace and security, destructive times will come upon us. And exactly what you're seeing today here, folks. And it's just unprecedented what's going on. And we need to keep our eye on the Pope, and especially when the presidents of Palestine and Israel go to pray with the Pope. Because this year, folks, I mean, we got to also and pay attention to the blood moons. The blood moons, major events happen on these blood moon dates, which is also happens not coincidentally, it's not by chance, happen to fall on Jewish holidays. It's not a coincidence. God said, through the stars in the sky, and Israel will be God's time clock for prophecy, along with the stars in the skies, the astrological events. So this is not a coincidence, folks. This is exactly how God has planned it. So people could debate it all day long, but the thing is, you can't escape prophecy, because prophecy is dead on accurate, as you're seeing now. And it's unprecedented what's going on here. And you know, again, the Pope, you know, this guy, you know, he's doing a lot of stuff that no Pope's ever done before. May seem good to a lot of people, but it's not. He's got the United Nations backing him. He's got the gay activist groups. Of all people, the gay activist groups, the lesbian community and all that, atheists of all people, that's kind of weird. The atheists adorning this guy, the Muslims, most mainstream Christians, the Buddhists, just all Eastern religions, everybody's backing this Pope. And this is the first time in history that this has been done. John Paul II almost accomplished that. He started the ecumenical movement to push one more religion, but it didn't go through. It wasn't their time yet. That's why Benedict was forced to retire and to put this man in power. That's why the night before, when he retired, he gave up his throne, so to speak. The bolt of lightning struck St. Peter's Basilica, and it was viewed by the world, because the bolt of lightning symbolizes Satan. Satan, the Antichrist, needed to put this guy in power because they are behind schedule. The New World Order is well behind schedule, so they need to put this guy in power and get things moving along. They couldn't wait for this Pope to die or whatever, you know, Benedict, whatever. They had to get things moving along. That's why he was like the second Pope in history to resign or something like that. But anyway, Pope Francis, 99.9%, he is the false prophet. The Antichrist is false prophet, because he's fulfilling biblical prophecy as we speak, folks. It's unprecedented. And now also, again, anybody in the Rhode Island area to get out today, 3 p.m., hopefully this video will be up before then, because my YouTube takes 3 years to upload sometime. But S2318 scheduled for today at 3 p.m. in room 211 at the Rhode Island State House. And they're trying to put a supplemental tax bill on firearms and ammunition, and 10% at that. So we need people to get out there, testify against these scumbags, against these Nazis. Exactly what they are. And I call it as I see it. They are Nazis, plain and simple. And before I go, I want to highlight some news that's going on Infowars.com. A preview of what AJ is going to be talking about today. I think actually he's in Bilderberg, so I don't know if he's hosting, or David Knight. I believe David Knight's were hosting it. But anyway, this is some of the news on Infowars.com. Sneak peek here of what's going to be talked about. Tons of Bilderberg news. I'm live streaming today at the Bilderberg from Copenhagen. And it's all kinds of headline news here. You got global warming, Lake Superior experiences record ice in May. So for the global warming, you know, people who believe in global warming, Lake Superior, if global warming is real, why would Lake Superior be getting record ice percentage? I mean, they reported about this before. The polar caps have record percentage of ice since they started recording it. So that throws the whole global warming theory out. Then they say, oh, it's climate change caused by global warming. It takes thousands of years for climate change to even happen. So that's stupid altogether. And it's like saying you put to say global warming and climate change is real is like saying I'm going to put a turkey in the oven at 400 degrees. An hour later, it's going to come out as a block of ice. You know, it's ridiculous. It really is. And they don't tell you there's a solar maximum every 11 years that heats up the whole solar system. But anyway, on with the news here. You got Intelligence Committee doesn't care if the targets are even identified before they are assassinated. The Washington blog. You got a lot of stuff here. The middle class will die within 30 years, leaving a wealthy elite and sprawling. That's what they want to do, the globalists. They're trying to kill the middle class. They don't want anybody to live comfortable. They want you reluctant off the state. And more Bilderberg news. And again, check it out on Infowars.com. And I got the U.S. to keep about 10,000 troops in Afghanistan after 2014. And find out how Michelle Obama just made this 5-year-old girl cry. Well, look at her. Well, him or what? Some people think it's a guy, but whatever. You know, look at her. You know, she'll make any baby cry. You know, it's ridiculous. And you got exclusive FBI spied on Nelson Mandela during his first U.S. trip, which we know Nelson Mandela is a tyrant. And it was a disgrace that we had to lower our flags to have staff for him. But anyway, you got all this cops. You have news here. Family VA cops stomped on veteran's head, killing him. More police state news. And again, this video we talked about yesterday. Cops tased a man 18 times and pounced on a family member as he filmed. But a lot of news also, you know, it's just go to Infowars.com and check it out. And again, I'm going to be at the State House today to go to the hearings and testify and let these criminals know you're not taking our guns, you're not imposing no taxes, because there's several bills. That's one of them. This bill here is just one of several bills. And they're trying to do everything they can. We shot it down, all these bills down last year, and we're going to do it again this year. But anyway, we'll give a live report, hopefully an updated live report at the State House. If not, we'll definitely talk to you tomorrow. And the radio show, Truth Radio Show, will be on probably in a week, if not 2 weeks, definitely. We're going to launch the show, regardless if we have a station or not. We're going to launch the show anyway. And thank you for watching. And this is Dan Badani for TruthRadioShow.com.